I will step out of this pulpit at the moment for an undetermined, indeterminate period of time.
Stations on Channel 16, a message from Dubai Air Traffic Control. An Iranian Airbus is presumed crashed. Please look for survivors.
It really gets warm, in this time of the day, Malcolm. It's hard on the cows, this heat. The heat the last couple of days, the production has really dropped off.
Mr. Vice President,
yes.
The President himself has said he wants all the facts out. He gave up such things as even his own diary. Every principle, including Secretary Schultz, he gave up some of it.
Well, Dan, let's be careful here because you're...
Yes, sir, I want you to be careful, Mr. Vice President, because...
It's a kind of radio tradition in December to do the Year in Review piece, a long sort of philosophical essay on the past year, a montage of music and tape designed to evoke all that 1988 might have meant, if it meant anything. But we decided that's too boring. We're going to skip this year. Let's fast forward a little and present not 1988 in review, but 1989 in review, a retrospective on a year that hasn't happened yet, or something like that. I'm standing high atop Times Square in an empty recording studio, listening to a compact disc sound effects library of crowd, wind, and car horns, and hearing it all, it's easy to remember what it must have been like when people walked around at night in large cities, when thousands could gather freely in the street, in those days before the robot policeman, before the computer virus, before the New Depression, before the death of love. But let's look back on 1989, the year when it all started over.
First, this word from Jiffy Shrink. Quick fix psychotherapy, 9 minutes from couch to car.
I was falling apart. I had no time for anything. I was constantly exhausted. I was moody and depressed. I was going to sleep at 7:30 at night. My whole life felt absolutely without direction.
Frankly, I didn't think the marriage was going to last. Trudy was turning into a maniac. So I saw an ad for Jiffy Shrink. 9 minutes from couch to car, and I said, hey, she's got 10 minutes.
My life is completely different. I had the 90 seconds of dream therapy with Jungian affirmations, 60 seconds of lithium, plus 9,000 milligrams of vitamin C in a bioflavonoid complex, 1 minute of low-impact intravenous aerobics, and then 5 minutes of non-denominational meditation. I just repeat this mantra over and over again. Rama, Rama, Rama. Dr. Murray Rama.
Jiffy Shrink saved our marriage.
You just gotta take it one level of the subconscious at a time. Easy does it.
Whoa, oh, 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 I've got a mantra. Rama, 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 ding dong. Got it from Jiffy Shrink. Rama, 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 ding dong. Rama, rama.
The trouble started in the winter of 1989. A computer virus, a prank by a Cornell graduate student, suddenly began infecting other computerized devices. Digital radios turned themselves on in the middle of the night, cars with electronic ignitions suddenly sped out of control, and in one of its more bizarre incarnations, pop singer Jay Black had his entire brain short-circuit in the middle of a live performance of Cara Mia. We were, as President Quayle said that February, in big trouble. A society hurtling beyond speed and noise, beyond stress, falling apart at the seams. And the first thing to go was money. On the evening of November 1st, 1989, all bank records in America had suddenly gone blank. Infected computers had apparently erased themselves during the night. And then the bank runs started.
We want our money.
I've been out of work for a year.
I got doctor bills to pay. Don't you see the computer lost everything, but we'll pull through somehow. All we got to do is stick together. Don't you see now? Everybody's on their honor. Ed, how much money do you have in your account?
But, George, it's your own money.
Don't worry about it. Your account's still good. This is a loan. How much did you have?
Well, I had about, you don't got no records, right? I guess I had about 80 million in my checking account.
All right, Ed, but how much do you need to get by?
I need $80 million.
All right, now remember, this is a loan. Mrs. Davis, just tell me, what do you need to get by till Monday?
But, George, it's your own money. You were going on your honeymoon.
Oh, no, that doesn't matter. Just tell me what you need to get by.
I'll take $100 million in 5 cents.
God bless you, Mrs. Davis.
We were the richest society on earth, suddenly gone completely bust. Men stood in line in the streets buying lotto tickets. Other men walked through Wall Street wearing sandwich boards reading Live Naked Models. The number one record that April, a Bing Crosby sound-alike calling himself Gratuitous Violence.
They closed the banks, took all my money, but the bank in my heart is still full. I ain't got a dollar. You won't hear me holler. Got no job, got no place to sleep, but I've got a song.
I love Gratuitous Violence. It's really upbeat. It's like, you don't have to be depressed or anything. You don't have to have money, It's like, don't worry and be happy.
I think he sounds a little like Bing Crosby.
It's Bing Crosby.
May of 1989. Jay Black is still singing, and curiously, he's drawing crowds in record numbers. We were, that summer, a nation starved for thrills. 1987 had seen the Baby on Board sign craze. 1988 had seen the Garfield cats with suction cup paws craze, and 1989 saw a new automobile craze. 40-foot inflatable Godzillas that you stuck out of the sky roof of your car, with huge bullhorns in their mouths so you could sing along with the radio.
Just a gigolo, everywhere I go. Hey, Tony! People know the game I'm playing. And moving, pay for every dance in my...
We were, in the words of one writer in The New Yorker, a nation about itself in The New Yorker. And with more stress, and more demands, and less money, and more couples working, we began to notice a psychological trend that summer, which, for lack of better words, we'll call the death of love. Part of it might have been fear. But the death of love was more profound than that. It wasn't that we didn't care. It wasn't that we weren't lonely. We just didn't have the time.
Hi.
Hi.
What are you doing, hon?
Nothing much.
Bad day at work?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right. I just asked.
How are you? Tell me something cheerful. Good week, huh?
You doing anything tonight?
I don't know. What are you doing?
You want to come over?
You want me to come over?
Oh, I don't know. We could just talk on the phone if you want to.
You want to come over here?
I did so much driving this week.
Right. I forgot. I guess I could come over there, then. Do you want me to?
Well, I mean you can, but you sit around, and you're all romantic and everything, and then in 2 seconds you're sound asleep.
I'm working.
Well, I'm working too.
Fine. We won't see each other.
Let's see each other. I'll come over there.
You're tired.
I'm tired, but I'm willing to come over.
Don't fall asleep in 2 seconds. I'm sorry.
Society was indeed disintegrating that summer, especially for young people. Among American teenagers, chocolate addiction was at an all-time high, and while chocolate couldn't be banned, a $40 million public service ad campaign tried its best to fight it.
Hi, I'm Evel Knievel. Some people call me a daredevil. Like the time I jumped the dangerous Snake River Canyon in my sky cycle, that was probably the greatest moment of my life. But I'll tell you something I'd never do. That's drink a glass of Bosco. No way, man. That's just stupid.
And the cry to save our youth went up again that August as 45 of the biggest names in rock and roll joined forces for a huge rally at South Africa's Coco Marsh Stadium. 11 billion people watched on television as Jay Black took the stage.
My brother Neville and I are going to close this fundraising concert with a little duet, which we call Sending the Cash. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Hey, what you calling a queer? I'm not calling you queer to the lyrics, man. Don't give me a
The concert would end in a riot. Before it was over, 530 people would have lost their car keys. That fall, all musical concerts were banned. By September, all gatherings in public places were banned. And the cry rose from a ravaged American people, make the streets safe. And all of American technology responded with the L-Bots, squads of motorized robot policemen on roller skates who sang light opera. They were dressed like Elvis Presley, carried high-powered air rifles, and traveled in packs of 50. That winter, the streets belonged to the L-Bots.
I'm looking for someone. Could someone be you? I've looked high and low, and I haven't found you.
Hey, I'm just taking out the garbage. Hey guys, I'm just walking the dog.
Now wait a minute, fellas. All I told my class was we weren't going to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hey boys, all I wrote was that I thought women should have the freedom of choice.
Yes, I'm a member of the ACL.
You. I swear I didn't vote for Dukakis. You missed me.
And then, maybe something snapped. Maybe human beings, or society in general, can simply take so much noise, so much madness, before some part of our essential humanness rebels and says, "My God, what are we doing?" For we suddenly, and startlingly, chose silence and reflection. It wasn't quite a religion. It wasn't organized. But it filled some longing, as Americans, quite deliberately, that December of 1989, turned off the televisions. Let the Sunday Times turn yellow on the back porch, unread. Got out of their cars. Put away the phone answering machines. Woke up with the sun. Noted the autumn. Raked leaves. Talked to neighbors. Slept deeply, innocently, profoundly. And that scared some people.
Hi, I'm Evel Knievel. Some people call me a daredevil. Like the time I jumped over Hoover Dam wearing only a jockstrap. That was probably the greatest moment of my life. But I'll tell you one thing I'd never do. That's lie on my back and stare at the stars. No way, man. That's just stupid.
But life suddenly had changed. And as 1989 ended, men and women, through their own choices, searched for and found time and, apparently, each other.